A lot.
Yes. So welcome everybody who are joining us today. We have the Duchess. She is here, Juressa McBride, and she brought the blues with her. And she's pretty
Yes.
phenomenal, everybody. I'm so excited to finally get to speak to her, and you will see through the interview. So please share, please like, and all of that. And while I have some of you guys' attention, go to my YouTube page, Shypanther and Friends Show 2024, and hit subscribe. All righty, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And Juressa, so let's talk. You are a busy, busy woman.
Yes. Yes, I am. Sometimes I feel like I'm all over the place, but I tend to try to balance it all. But yes, I am a busy lady.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How do you balance? You're an author, singer, songwriter, entertainer, radio personality, and an amazing mom of two daughters.
Yeah.
So that's big
And
on
not to
my.
mention, not to mention a
Okay.
teacher.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I mean, I spoke to you personally, and you told me you're a teacher, and I didn't even put it in here. So that's right. She's she's a teacher, everybody. So, but how do you balance? What's your secret?
When I first started off and I was trying to balance everything, it seemed kind of overwhelming, but it seemed like the more I went with the flow and, making sure that everything is um balanced the way it needs to be, especially when my children were younger. It was a lot of things that I couldn't do because they were younger, but now that they're older, it's easier for me to balance the things that I need to,
Mm-hmm.
do and have done since they're older now. So
Mm-hmm.
I just I just go with the flow. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, but when you have a passion for something and it's your dream, you make
Yeah.
time for it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You'll
So
make it
it's
happen.
easy, right? It's easy to make
Mm-hmm.
those things happen when it's something that you actually want to do. So,
Okay.
mhm.
So, now I know that you were born in Port Gibson, Mississippi, and
Mhm.
mom's a teacher too.
Yeah, she's a retired teacher. She's a retired teacher. My dad was a welder,
Okay.
and yeah, I grew up in a two-parent household with both
Mm-hmm.
parents working, and like I said, mom was an educator, and now she's my manager, kind of picked her up. She's still in
Oh,
retirement, but
that, that's awesome.
but
That's awesome.
these 13 years have been amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
we just keep on pushing. But yeah, that's why I was born and raised at. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, in a small town in Clayton County, right outside of Port Gibson, Mississippi, Patterson, Mississippi. All of those areas are like really close together.
Okay.
Patterson, Hermanville, all those areas are very
Mm.
close together, but they're all in Clayton County. So
Wow.
it's a small rural area.
Well, I honestly, it is very peaceful when the few times I've been to Mississippi,
Hmm.
but I really want to get back down there. But I wanted to ask you too. Now, you mentioned that you're a teacher. What grades do you teach? Is it
I
high school grade
teach
too?
I teach ninth through 12th.
Really? Do they
Yeah.
know that you sing the blues?
Yes, and they are some of my biggest supporters. They are some of my biggest supporters. They're always like, "Where you going next, Miss McBride?" And they follow me on online. That one of them will spread the word, and then somebody else will go,
Oh
"Hey, we
man.
follow Miss McBride," and I tell them, I say, "Now y'all follow me, but I can't follow you back until you graduate."
Oh, okay. I think that's awesome. So
Yeah.
how does your family feel about that you're singing the blues? And I mean you've been doing it for a while.
Yes,
So
time flies by really fast, but
mhm,
my family are very huge supporters of my music career, and they always have been very supportive,
mhm,
very supportive in many ways, emotionally,
mm,
financially,
mm,
all of those things from the beginning,
mhm,
including some of my friends and stuff. But my
mhm.
family, they're very, very supportive of my music career.
Okay. Now,
Hmm.
yeah, because you said your mom's your manager now, and I was definitely
Hmm.
going to ask
Hmm.
about who's in your circle who really
Right,
cares about you because that's super important
right.
out here
Yeah,
in this
it's
world.
so important. It's so important to have a strong circle.
Yes.
And I can honestly say that my circle is very small. But when it
Okay.
comes to my family, they are very supportive, and not just my immediate family, but all of my family on my mom's
Mm-hmm.
side, my dad's side, very supportive. I can't get my girls to come on the road with me. I, I thought
Not yet.
eventually they would be my background singers, but
That
that's
would be
don't seem to be happening.
well. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I read too that your brothers, you said everybody can sing in
Yeah,
your family.
everybody can sing. Whether it's really good or not. Everybody can sing. They can hold a
Yeah.
note. We have a lot of singers in our family,
Okay.
and matter of fact, actually on both sides, and I'm
Mm.
gradually discovering some things on my mom's side because her mom was a civil rights activist, and
Wow.
she was one of the drivers on the mule train. Her and my great grandmother, which were on her side, they were both drivers for the mule train from Marks, Mississippi to Washington
Mm.
D.C. When they were a part of that movement. But what I
Mm.
had found out a couple of years back
Mm.
is that my great grandfather, his name was William James, and he was a blues artist. He was a blues guitarist, and no
Mm.
one knows what happened to him. My mom said that they told him one day he got on a train to go for a gig, and he never came back. So
Wow.
that's like a mystery story that I
Yeah.
want to know more about because I would love to know who he was and who was he playing for? Was he playing for himself
Mm.
or what? And with a name like William James, that's kind of like a normal name almost, so it's kind of hard to kind of find things online. But
Okay.
um we definitely said that we're going to go back to the area in which him and my great grandmother were married and see can we look at some of the registry and stuff in that
Right.
small town
Yeah.
so
Because
we can do some history on that. So the blues kind of run deep,
okay.
in our family. Hmm.
Yeah, and I was going to say there's so many documents that if you don't really take the time to dig in, you won't find them.
Right.
But I I promise you there's probably something there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now you got started a long time ago,
Hmm.
and I love that your first song was about your pet dog,
It
Spiky.
was.
That
It
sounds so
was it was
cute.
about my pet dog, and I never forget my third grade teacher, Miss Stewart. I don't know where she is now, but she had these Cocker Spaniel puppies, and I remember begging my mom, please let me have one because she brought them to school. And so anyway, she let me have one of the puppies, and we named him Spike. And I tell you, I was when I did write the song, I was about 9 years old, but I wrote the song off of you remember R. Kelly did the song Sadie,
Do I
Sweet
know?
Sadie. Remember the song? Oh
Yeah.
Sadie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wrote the song Oh Spikey.
Yeah. I think I heard who was that? The Spinners
He
sang
wasn't
that.
the
But
original singer of the
right,
song.
oh, okay. Because I'm like,
Right.
oh, I
So
don't
he
even
did it
know if
as a
I
cover, but
heard
yeah, I
this
took it and
okay.
I made a song for about my dog. I
Oh,
was like, oh,
Spiky.
Spikey, but it was like from then on when I let my mom hear because she's one of these. If she see that you have a passion for something, she's gonna try to
Oh,
work
that's
towards
so
that.
good.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it was like she bought me a keyboard, and I never learned how to play. I can name you a lot of instruments that have been, that I've gotten, but I have not learned to play. But something keeps telling me
Mm-hmm.
that one day, I'm gonna know how to
Right.
play something.
Oh, oh man. Well, so at 9 years old and poetry at 9.
Yes. And to this day, I still have a notebook that's full of nothing but poetry,
Mm,
and it's like really thick, and
yeah.
a lot. I haven't had them
Mm-hmm.
published, into a book. Um, and some of them can be converted into songs, but I have a lot of
Mm.
poetry, a lot.
Man, and
Mhm.
that's amazing too to me that you connected it to
Mhm.
songwriting. But as
Mhm.
I did research, I found that it almost looked like you decided early on this is something that you love and that you want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
it seems like everything else, every stepping stone, put you right on the path.
Right. Right. I've always known that I wanted to be a singer. I always knew that I wanted to be a writer.
Mm,
And that's a lot of things that I tell my students too. If there's anything that you want to do, you can
mm,
do it all if you if you push
mm,
towards it, because I'm a prime example of it. And so, but like I said, I always knew that I wanted to be a writer, and I always knew I was going to be a singer. That was
mm.
just, didn't matter what else came. I knew that for sure.
Wow.
That
Okay.
because I love entertaining. I love entertaining and singing. So
Hmm. Now people, Teresa has so much. I'm gonna let her tell you a little bit. Now, starting back, I'm gonna go back a little bit. 2011, you took on a 4-week Face the Music tournament
right.
sponsored by V World Entertainment in Jackson, Mississippi,
Hmm.
and you won.
I won. I won, and it was a lot of great singers. It was a lot of great
Hmm.
singers there, and I'm telling you, that's when I decided I was going to go professional, because I looked at all of the support that I had for
Okay.
those 4 weeks, and I was like, okay,
Wow.
so it's
Hmm.
really meant for me to do this, because the support was
It
real,
okay.
and it was exciting. And it was like when I first performed with the very first band, I was like, this is it. This is where I belong.
Mm-hmm.
It was my comfort zone,
Hmm.
and it was a great experience that set me up, to be able to perform on stages too,
Hmm.
because I was young and didn't really know anything about the business when I first started off. So it
Yeah.
was a lot to learn throughout those years, but that process did help me and find out the direction in which I wanted to go.
Okay. Now that particularly you where you're talking about all the support that you got, and I'm looking at you were in a children's theater.
Hmm.
You got so much training. It seems that to me, um, all those opportunities as a very young child created this path for you that you stayed on, and it's just
Hmm.
amazing all that support. I and it was done through the Mississippi Cultural Crossroads.
Hmm.
Um,
And
okay,
that
and
that center, that art center, it is still open today. It doesn't have
mm,
all of the programs that it need, because I'm thinking that they lost funding, but there
oh,
will be
okay,
a program really for people to donate to, because like I
mm-hmm,
said, it changed my life, and I know a lot of more people that were around my age at the time, teenagers, younger kids. We
mm-hmm,
had somewhere to go during the summer. We were exposed to art. We were exposed to cultural exchange groups. It was
okay,
very important for our
wow,
community. And like I said, the Mississippi Culture Crossroads, they're still open today, but they still need the
they
support
need
to
help.
continue on.
Mm-hmm,
Right, because they
mm-hmm.
no longer have the acting groups and things like that. And I think
Wow,
today they need that badly,
mm-hmm,
because children don't have anything to really do. So, like I said, that art center,
mm-hmm.
it helped a lot of kids in the Port Gibson area.
Yeah, because you mentioned that you participated in art and acting with the Peanut Butter and Jelly Theater. I
The
thought that
peanut
was
butter
just
and jelly theater, honey, we went from state to state. Matter of
wow.
fact, we would travel from Louisiana,
Mm,
Arkansas, all around Mississippi, and it was during the summertime, and we would put
mm,
on plays and sing at different libraries for the students. And
wow.
at the end, we would serve peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Oh. That is so creative. But I cannot
What?
imagine how great that must have been for your confidence and your self-esteem
Yes.
and just
Mm-hmm.
developing your
Mm-hmm.
personality and your and helping you
Exactly.
decide singer, actor, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you do right.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All of that came into play just by going there
Mm,
every summer. And then
mm,
it's like the older you got, then you can start being mentors to some of the younger students and they pay you for a summer job. So
wow.
it's like you
Yeah.
grew up going to the art center and then when you
Mhm.
reached a certain age, you could get paid for,
Mhm.
being there for the summer as a summer job. So it was really neat. And like I
Yeah.
said, I would love to see more of that happen again in Mississippi Culture
Yeah.
Crossroads because, like I said, it's still standing today, and they're still there, but they need the help.
Right. Now you there's something I just cannot wait to get to where you went to France. You went to this
Hmm.
event. I didn't know that there was any event like that. Can you tell us more about it?
Okay, so they had the Meetum. It's a Meetum
Meet 'em. Okay.
conference, and it's at the south of France in Cannes, France, and
Mhm.
they have artists and record labels and anything dealing with music, they all come together for this huge conference in France from all over
Mhm.
the world. I
Mhm.
was the only black woman from
Mm.
Mississippi that was
Mm.
there. I was invited to come and I also was able to perform.
Okay.
So that was a great experience.
I'm
I had a
sure.
good time. I definitely stood out. But I did bring the blues, and
Yeah.
I got a chance to meet so many people that I'm still connected to.
Mm.
But that experience right there was one for the books. It
Yeah.
was.
Because it
Mhm.
put me in my, it was in Cannes or
Mhm.
Cannes. I don't know how to say the proper way.
I
And
think
so,
it's cans.
yeah.
I'm not even sure, but yeah, it
But you
was
know what?
beautiful too.
It put
Mhm.
me in mind of for filmmakers. You know how they had
Mhm.
the huge
And they do.
festival.
They meet there. They
Mm-hmm.
actually meet
Mm-hmm.
there for the
Mm-hmm.
filmmaking too. And that was
Mm-hmm.
around the same time that Meet 'em conference took place. So
Mm.
yeah,
So
they
I did
definitely
not.
they meet there for that too.
Okay, I think that's
Mhm.
great because I'm
Mhm.
trying to find all these things that support the blues, and
Mhm.
then I run across this. I'm like, oh my gosh, this
And
is
then I
excellent.
was the only blues artist. Not only was I the
Okay,
only
right.
black female artist from Mississippi, I
Okay.
was the only blues artist there.
Well, so how did you get connected? Because I'm just looking through all of these things that you've done
Mhm.
and the experiences they created these experiences for you. But
Mhm.
how did you do it? How did you get
Well,
connected?
I was connected through. I'm not sure if you heard of the music specialist Alan Johnston,
No, I
but
haven't.
he's out of Atlanta. He's been in the music industry. Oh God,
Okay.
probably before I was born. But
Okay.
we were actually, and this is why I always say that connections are very important because
Mm-hmm.
we ended up meeting each other at the Just Blues Awards
Mm.
in Tunica. And that
Okay.
awards is done by Charles. Oh my God, what's Charles' last name? Forgive me for that because I can't think his last name at the moment.
Mhm.
But we started going to the Just Blues Music Awards, and we connected from there. And
Mhm.
and when the opportunity came, he was like, "Hey, you want to go to France?" And
Ooh,
I was like, "Of course, that's not a question." That's
when do we leave?
right. When do we leave? Because if you all bringing me to France, we don't have to talk about this. I'm automatically going, and so that's how we got connected.
Mhm.
Connected to that. And I haven't been back to the Just Blues Awards um, since then. And the main reason why is because
Mm.
with me teaching
Mm.
and the time in which they have the awards, it's the
Mhm.
same days that we start back to school.
Oh wow.
But it
Yeah.
looks like this year, when I was looking online, it's the same dates, but the dates seem like they fall on a weekend this time. So I think I'm gonna get a chance to go this time. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that I do
Wow.
because I really miss going there, and that's why I ran into a lot of the people that I admired, like Denise LaSalle and
Mm.
Peggy
Okay.
Scott Adams and Lattimore, Bobby Rush. All of these people support the Just Blues Music Awards. And that's how I was able to connect with a lot of them
Wow.
because we started going there. Hmm.
Girl, I mean, you have done so many wonderful things. Now, it says that you established a new genre of music at the Needham called Global Soul.
Yeah, they did.
Go
Now, whether or not they still keeping it up,
ahead.
it
I'm like,
was
no,
definitely,
she
listen,
went
we were
there.
there for the Global Soul. And what happened was, like I said, it was people from all over the world.
Hmm.
And they were
Okay.
singing soul music from Africa to from Ireland, all of these different people. We connected into one group and formed Global Soul,
Mm,
Global Soul.
mm,
So,
mm.
like I said, now whether or not the genre kept up, you know, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Just, you
Well,
know.
if not, I'm sure it made an impact because that's
Hmm.
pretty awesome. You were the only
Hmm.
one there representing the blues, and then
Hmm.
you did this before you left, so they remember
Hmm.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
They definitely remember you. So who are you? Some of the influences. Who influenced your music or your
A lot of
style?
people that influence my music, number one, Coco Taylor.
Mm,
Number one, Coco Taylor. And I always say that because I tell the story all the time, and it's probably on my website as well, but I always tell the story about how my dad, every Saturday morning, he worked on his car, whether
okay.
anything was wrong with it or not. That was just his routine. And I would
Okay.
get in his car while he has the music playing, and I would listen to the cassettes that he
Hmm.
had. And I never forget, I was like, who is this lady with this voice, but looking real slim? Because it was Coco Taylor. And on the album cover, I don't know if you remember that album cover, but she had like, I don't know what it was, like Afro puffs or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, oh my goodness, and I was really young. I was like, and I was trying to make my voice like she
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
But Coco Taylor is really one of my biggest influences. Um, I used to listen to a lot of like the Johnny Taylor and
Mm.
Tyrone Davis and
Mm-hmm.
Denise LaSalle. She
Mm-hmm.
was one. She was definitely one. That's why I was so happy when I actually got a chance to connect with her and have conversations with her. It was such a blessing to be able to connect with her. But yeah, yeah, Coco Taylor she is really one of my biggest influences. So
Yeah. Well, when you perform some of her music, you do an amazing job.
thank
So,
you.
I actually showed my mom your video. I'm like, Mom, look at her. And she's like, who is that? So yeah, I mean, I think you are doing an amazing job, and people
Thank you.
support her, and actually, what's the name of your latest music that you've been promoting?
It's called My Time to Shine.
Okay.
My Time to Shine.
Okay.
That is actually a lot of my albums prior to have a lot of soul music
Okay.
on it, but this one in particular is focused on strictly
Oh,
blues. And I was
okay.
very proud about this project because Paul Nelson, he got with me, and he's a Grammy Award
Mhm.
winner, and he actually got with me because he saw me perform. We was performing at the same show, and he was like, "Hey, I want to do some work with this lady." So, I told him
Yeah.
my vision, and he flew down to Mississippi, and
Mm.
him and some more musicians, we all got into the studio, and we created an amazing project, and it was what I visualized. And it's like time goes by so fast because it's been over a year since the project been out, and I'm still pushing it
Oh
because
yeah.
sometimes it takes a long time for music to get around
Mhm.
everywhere because you got a
Mhm.
whole world that you have to let hear it. So I'm continuing to push it, but My Time to Shine, yeah, that's the
Mhm.
one to get. So if you all listening out there, y'all need to make sure you go download the album.
Oh my goodness. Now did you record it to your label? Because Juressa
Uh-huh.
McBride has a label.
Yeah,
So go ahead,
yeah,
tell us
JSS
about that.
Records. Yeah, JSS Records. Yeah, so I did. Everything is connected directly to my business and what I have going on. So that project is it came through there because I am an independent label, you know.
Okay.
So
And it's
all of my
called
projects come
JJS
through
Records.
JSS Records.
JSS. Okay.
hmm
Okay.
And we're thinking about kind of revamping it some, but yeah, for the
Hmm.
meantime, JSS Records.
Okay. Now, did
Yeah.
you so you did that whew, I forgot my question that quick. Was something to do with your music. Well, we'll just keep going. Oh,
hmm
I do know. It was something really big on my brain. What does this album uh how does it represent where you are in your
hmm
career? Because it's entitled My Time.
Uh-huh. It represents everything. It represents everything because I named it My Time to Shine. And if you get a chance to hear that song, it really tells a story. You know, it tells a story about the things that I've been through and through this journey. And now it is my time. You know, I'm not taking
Mm-hmm.
anything less. You know, it's my time to shine. So that means I need everybody to see me and hear me.
Okay.
But the entire album is so good, and they're all original songs with the exception of three.
Mm.
Three I did a cover of "Dust My Broom,"
Mm-hmm.
and I did two of Coco Taylor songs, which was "Wang Dang Doodle" and and "I'm a Woman." And I
Oh.
kind of with "Wang Dang Doodle," I kind of jazzed it
All
up a little bit, made
right.
it a little
All right.
different.
All right.
But uh-huh.
I said, all right.
Yeah, so it's jazzed up. It's a little different than what everybody is used to hearing, but I think it still turned out great. There's several songs on there that just give a powerful message, like "Don't Mind the Rain." "Don't Mind the Rain," I dedicate that to all of our black men out there
Mm.
because there's a lot of things that they're going through, and at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you don't need to give up. Don't focus on the rain, focus on the rainbows. So it's a powerful message in
Mm.
that song as well too,
Okay.
as well as "I Choose Me." People love to hear me sing "I Choose Me" because at the end of the day, when you're going through a lot of things, you have to choose yourself. Sometimes it's okay to choose yourself
That's
first.
right.
So yeah, so definitely I don't think I can pick a favorite song from the album
You said you
because I
don't think
love the
oh, okay.
entire album.
That's awesome.
It's just to me now, maybe because I'm the artist of it, but you can put the album on and just let it play. You don't have to skip through,
Mm-hmm.
just let it play.
Right.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely what I intend to do. Then we can
Mhm.
pick up your music at Apple
Anywhere.
Music, anywhere.
hmm
Okay, there you go. Don't even have to name it
Anywhere.
off.
hmm
Okay.
Anywhere. You can stream it, you can download it, whatever. You can get autograph copies from me. So however they choose to get it, it's available.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
So now, through your career, what would you say was the best advice that you were given, and who gave it to you?
Oh, let me think, because I've had some great advice
Okay.
from several legendary artists. I've had advice from Lenny Williams,
Mm.
Denise LaSalle, Bobby Rush, and if I could sum it all up, because I can't just say one, because I've
Okay.
actually had this advice from all of them.
Mm.
But if I could sum it all up, the main thing that I've always been told is to stay authentic and stay
Mm.
myself. Because when you're dealing with a lot of issues in the music industry, it can change you. So
Oh
you
yeah.
have to make
Okay.
sure that you have your focus on what it is that you came in to do and what it is that you want to leave behind when your legacy is being left behind. So I've
Mm.
taken that advice, and I've always tried to, how people saying stay in your own lane.
Right.
I don't see that as a negative thing at all because
Okay.
I have my own lane. You see, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
see that as a negative saying at all because it's easy to sound like everybody else, but it's harder for some people to be authentic, if that makes
I
sense.
know that
So
makes perfect sense.
yes, so I
Mm-hmm.
I choose to stay um in my own lane, doing the music like I like it, and for
Mhm.
those who support it, they support it. And it's just some things that I'm not going to stoop down to do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have my clothes on.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
look good. I'm going to keep it classy, and I'm gonna let my voice speak for me.
There
So
you go.
it's that's right. So I'm not gonna change who I am for people, because the reason why I'm in it is to show people who I am.
Mhm.
So I think the
Yeah.
biggest advice I've ever been given is to stay authentic and true to myself.
Good. Good.
And I've taken that along the journey. It
That's
hadn't been easy, but I've taken it.
right. And
Mhm.
so how did you know it was time to make this album? How did you know?
I, I knew it was time to make this album. I had been I had been putting out music. Like, a lot of my older music is really good. It's really good. But there was like at a time where I was trying to fit into a genre that I felt did not want me.
Mm.
And so I knew that my focus was always to be focused on blues. And what I would do when I would go and perform, I always perform blues. I didn't perform a lot of the soul music and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? If I'm going out performing blues all the time, then it's time for me to go head on and make my blues album. So
Mhm.
when I did this particular album, to me, it felt like not starting over, but introducing the people to who I really was. And so
Mhm.
I knew that it was definitely my time. And
Good.
that's why I was like, it's my time to shine now. Because once I go this direction, I'm not coming back this way now. Let's
Mhm.
let's keep going.
Right.
So no matter what it takes. So yeah. So
Yeah.
I knew it was definitely a time for that album to be made. And it's still definitely time for the songs on the album to be heard, because
Mhm.
even with the album before that, I took a combination of all of my favorite songs that I had written, and I put it into an album and called it The Soul of a Southern Girl.
Mm.
And that
Okay.
album is doing so good. I'm like, now wait a minute. Now, I put these songs out before, but I guess it just wasn't their
It
time.
wasn't.
So
Yeah.
while I worked on the album My Time to Shine, The Soul of a Southern Girl
Picked
was still
up.
moving.
Uh-huh.
And then one of the songs on there, Karma, I don't know if you've heard of that one, but that song was on my Personal Love Vendetta album, and it didn't do much of anything. I put it on the Soul of a Southern Girl album, and it went viral. I say, wait a minute. That is proof what a lot of artists say when they say some songs have its own time to do what it does. You can put out a
Right.
song, and that song could be very
Mm.
old, but if
Mm.
you put
Okay.
it out at the right time,
There it
it's
is.
gonna take off,
Wow.
because everything isn't meant to be put out, at that particular time. Sometimes you
Yeah.
got to grab something that you already have and
Mhm.
put it back out there, because now people are listening to it. So
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, what is this song doing? Come on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I was thinking maybe different set of, you know, fans
Mhm.
are listening to the music. You
Yeah.
just never know. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Mm-hmm.
with internet and everything, you just never know. Like, somebody can take your song and share it, and it takes off. So,
Mm-hmm.
as a matter of fact, what do you think about the internet and what it's done for artists trying to get their music around, moving their music?
I think it's amazing, but everything has its pros and cons. And you
Okay.
even see it like in with the mainstream artists as well. They experience it as well. The internet is full of
Mm,
a lot of talent, to
mm,
the point where it can be um people can be overshadowed.
Yes.
because
Mhm.
there's so much talent in the world. You
Mhm.
know, some people just doing it for a hobby, some people trying to do it professionally, you see?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so it's a good thing because it moves about. But when you think about music
Mhm.
back in the day versus today, it was more value to it. It was harder to get into the
Yeah.
industry. You really had to work for it. You
Yeah.
know, everybody just couldn't get in. You
Right.
had to work for it and be seen to
Mhm.
get it. And not only that, people were going
Mhm.
out and they were purchasing music. They were going to the record stores.
Yes.
They were buying music. They were buying it off of TV ads. They were
Mhm.
ordering CDs, all these kind of things. And now that means that I can go and spend $10,000 doing a project and you can go here for free. You see how that go?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
And that
like,
that kind of stinks.
right.
Mhm.
So it's like artists, and like I said, this is including mainstream artists. This is why you had a lot of the mainstream artists, like Taylor Swift and more people that were, um, kind of protesting against places like Spotify because you're not making any money. And people listeners don't understand that when if you stream a song, it
Mhm.
takes a long time for me to make a penny. So
Ah.
so it's like you might
Whoa.
stream a song a
Mhm.
hundred times and it might make me a nickel. You see what I'm saying?
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, streaming services have hurt artists. Even
Mhm.
though you can go and you can listen to your favorite artists.
Mhm.
I listen to my favorite artists. I like to just listen to all types of music. But at the end of the day, what is that royalty check looking like?
What is it looking
Because
like?
it takes a lot
Mhm.
to make a penny.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, fans and people who are fans of music, they don't know that. You see,
Okay.
and this
Yeah,
is
I
why
wasn't
you see a
aware.
lot of artists saying, "Hey, go purchase my album, go download the new album." You know, because
Mhm.
once it hits the streaming service, you can go to YouTube and listen to it for free. So,
Yeah,
because
that.
it's gonna
Whew.
automatically go there, it's gonna automatically go to YouTube, and you
Mhm.
know it just is what it is. So
Yeah.
it's the technology has its pros and its cons. It helps you get out there, but
Mhm.
financially, that's why you have a lot of artists that's just like, oh God, can I afford to do this as an independent
I
artist? You
get you.
know,
Mhm.
you see, so
Mhm.
it,
Mhm.
it, it helps a lot of people when they're signed to labels, but as an independent artist, you got to work a little extra harder. Um, you got to go out there and you got to
Mhm.
get shows to make most of your money and
Right.
excuse
Right.
me and be able to um sell your merch at those projects because at the end of the day, that's going to make you more money than the streaming of your music.
I get it.
Hmm.
Wow.
So
Isn't that something?
it's a lot that goes into it that a lot of people just don't
Mhm.
that they just don't know, you
Mhm.
know. And when I was going to school, because I got a bachelor's in music business too, it was a
Okay.
lot of things that I learned uh, about the business side, and I did that in particular for me to run my company where it
Mhm.
needs to be ran, you know.
Mhm.
Um, because it's not easy. If you're just getting out there just to sing, you don't know
You
what's
don't.
going on with the business part.
Right.
So yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's great that you covered all those bases,
Mm-hmm.
so that you would be able to take care of your own business and not
Mm-hmm.
have all of these things happening and you're unaware. And that can
Right.
happen if you're with a
Right.
label, another
Right.
label. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. It
Wow.
can. So technology, it has its pros and cons.
Mhm.
It does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you ever think about, do you think about you want to collaborate with another artist? Is there like an artist that you couldn't, you would like if they called you and say, you want to come on and work with me? Any dream person that you want to work with?
Now we're gonna talk about dream person now. I'm gonna tell you dream person now, and then I can tell you some more people I want to collaborate with. But the dream person,
Uh-huh.
hello, buddy guy, if you can hear me talking to you, it's me, the Duchess, and I want to.
Come on.
If we talking about dreams,
Okay.
okay?
Come on
If we're
here.
talking about other artists that I truly do adore,
Hmm.
Anika Chambers would be one. I don't know if you heard of Anika
No,
yet,
no.
but she would be one. Um,
Uh-huh.
Trudy Land would be one. She's like a godmother to me. I love myself
Oh.
some Trudy Land. Um, and I have a friend guy, Calvin Duncan Jr. We're thinking about doing some things together too. He does blues. Um, who else? It's so many of them because it's a lot of great blues artists out there that I wouldn't mind, collaborating with. But if we talking about dreams,
Yes.
if we talking about dreams, Mr. Buddy Guy, it's
All
me, the
right.
Duchess.
Well, right here in Chicago at Legends, that's the place. And I mean,
I know.
Buddy Guy, you can be going any place and
Yeah,
and performing with him.
exactly.
Wow. Yeah, come on. Hopefully, I'll share. I'll tag them.
Tag.
I'll tag.
I love it. I love it. And even though he has his new album out, I'm telling you, one of my favorite songs by him is "What Kind of Woman Is This?"
Oh,
Honey, when that music play and I hear him say, "The gates of heaven must be open," I be like, "Yes, yes, it is."
wow.
I love it.
Okay.
I love
Well,
it.
I do hope
Hmm.
that you do come here because I will be
Yeah,
sitting right down front.
yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Oh wow.
But yeah,
Okay. Oh.
it's so many different blues artists. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of hard for me to like narrow it down to how many. If I could do a full collaboration album, that album would be full because it's so many of them that I really do adore and I love their music
Mm-hmm.
and their style. So it's quite a few of them that I can actually think of at the top of my head. So yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Well, if there was one thing that you would want to change about this industry, the music industry, what would that be?
She said one.
Oh, you
See.
could do as many as you like. I just thought
You,
about
you know what? Number one thing, if I could change about the industry, is to acknowledge more of the blues women.
okay.
Let me correct it, and I promise you, I have nothing against any
Hmm.
nationality or people. But
Okay.
one thing that I would truly wish is that they will acknowledge more of the African American blues women. It's
Okay.
quite a few of us out there, but when I hear people talking, they just like, well, it's not that many. They're out there.
Oh yeah.
They're out there and they're not
Hmm.
given the same light to shine. And I just really, really wish that people would, focus a lot on that. We know the blues men are out there. We know that. We hear them all the time.
True.
But it's a lot of us out there, and people don't know that we're out there. And I wish the blues industry would change that.
Hmm.
Spread some knowledge on all of us, spread some light on all of us
Hmm.
so people can know that we're there. Um, and another thing that I would say is let's be supportive of each
There
other.
you go.
We can't do
Oh,
anything but grow.
right.
I
Right.
can't take from you no more than what you can take from me. And together we could all build each other.
Right.
So the last time I checked, money never stopped printing. So, we all can help each other
Uh-huh.
continue to grow and keep the blues alive.
Yeah.
That's very, very important, and I take that very seriously when people say keep the blues alive. Who keeping it alive? Are we gonna keep it alive?
Hmm.
So together with everybody, we can keep it alive because other people they're gonna
Hmm.
support each other.
Yeah.
Now, African American people, we need to start supporting each other more.
Yeah.
I can't take
Hmm.
from you. I can't take from you, but I can learn from you. Just like you can learn
Hmm.
from me, and
Hmm.
we can continue to build. So
Yeah.
yeah, that would be like the number one thing that I would say that needs to be changed because
Mm.
I've experienced a lot of things, a lot of things in this industry, and a lot of things will make you want to quit. But
Okay.
because this is my dream, I'm not letting anybody stop that.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. Hmm.
Yeah. I had another artist on, Maurice John Vaughn, and he was saying that you have to really love the blues to stay in it as an artist, because
Hmm.
it is tough.
It is.
And yeah, and I mean I realized that from going to some of the shows, and I noticed that some artists are given more time, more stage time
Hmm.
than I would say authentic artists are
Hmm.
not given that much time. And
Right.
I thought, what is going on with that?
Hmm.
What is going on with
Hmm.
that?
Yes.
Um,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
yeah.
And that
Hmm.
statement that he made is
Hmm.
totally true. It's a lot of times, like I can think of maybe several times where I say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, but I never said
Hmm.
it publicly.
Okay.
But because people don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and it's tough. It's
Hmm.
tough, especially, and I keep saying this, especially if you're an independent artist, because you're doing it all on your own.
Yeah.
There's not a label backing you. There's not a label booking for you. There's not
Hmm.
you're doing all of this on your own. You're responsible
Hmm.
for every single thing. And I just really feel like that people need to start valuing artists and musicians out there that's on the road, because it's not
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah.
to get back what you're putting into it. And especially if it's your passion and that's what you were born to do, then
Hmm.
you want to experience all of that. Because I know for me, and I know I can speak for a lot of more artists out there, when it's your passion and your dream and you're not on anybody's stage, oh, that can wear and tear on you right there, because you're
Mm.
born to be on the stage, you're born to entertain.
Okay.
And if you're not doing that, it's like a piece of that is missing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know it's rough. I know it's rough for a lot of people, but
Hmm.
like you said, you got to have some thick skin in this industry.
Yeah. Hang on in here. And one thing is for sure, if you leave, then I think that that would be doing harm to yourself. Just hang on in here,
Exactly.
and when you get the
Mhm.
opportunities to do the shows,
Mhm.
show up. Show
Mhm.
up. Go
And that's
ahead.
what I do. I show up and show out wherever I go. I don't care if the stage big or small.
That's
I'm coming to
right.
show up and show out. The only thing that I always have an issue with is just letting people know, hey, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Hmm.
You have some people, they may not have heard of me. You have a lot of people that have heard of me.
Hmm.
So, I'm just always making it aware. I'm always constantly
Hmm.
promoting myself, constantly reaching out to venues, reaching out to people, letting them know,
Hmm.
hey, I'm here. I'm a great blues woman here. Here's my website. Check me out. You know,
Right.
so it's like constant promotion. It's
Hmm.
constant promotion, but
Hmm.
at the end, it's all about the legacy that you want to leave behind.
That's
And
right.
so one
And
day I
that's the
want to leave here and they have a marker with my name on it.
and
I
I'm
want to
sure
be on the blues
I'm
trail one
sure
day.
they will.
Y'all hear me,
That's
Portuguese of Mississippi, all my people out there. Y'all know where I was born and raised. I want my marker one day, hopefully before I'm dead and gone. So
oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
I was gonna say that. I
yeah.
know they're gonna have it in Port Gibson because you've been doing a lot of wonderful things in it, and you gotten amazing support. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't even know a lot of these organizations existed, and this
Mm-hmm.
is great. This is really great. So, you have any
Mm-hmm.
shows coming up that you want to tell people about? Uh-oh, we're freezing. Oh no. Okay,
Did I lose you?
I'm
Oh, I'm
still here.
sorry.
No, no,
Not
it's no, it's
not
cool.
for not for this month, but I'm still working on some music. Um I'm working on writing right now
Okay,
and getting shows for 2024.
okay.
So as soon as I have them all done, I'm definitely going to make sure that I put it on all social media
That
handles.
yeah. Now that's where the internet comes in great to get the word out, and where
Mhm.
we can share and tell people who you are. Say, hey, did you know about her? Listen to her music,
Right.
check her out.
Right.
But also purchase it. Don't just stream it, but
Right.
purchase. And I encourage
Right.
people to please go out whenever there's an opportunity to hear a live band. Go out and support them, because they need the work, they need the exposure, and we have to do our part. And as you said, Teresa, this is our music.
Mhm.
It comes from us. It comes from our culture, our heritage, and we need to do our part to keep it alive.
Right.
So yes, and that's why I have this show going, to
Mm-hmm.
do something.
Which is
And
great. We always need platforms to turn to that help get the
mm,
word out. So I truly appreciate you.
oh, thank you. I definitely appreciate you too. Now, my brother told me too something that you said about independent artists, and he said, "Gail, don't you know most blues artists are independent artists?" I'm like,
They
"Oh, yeah,
are.
I hadn't
Hmm.
thought about that."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very few that has the opportunity to be signed to labels, but for the most part, all of them are independent.
that is
If they don't have their own
interesting.
independent
Yeah.
label.
Well, I
Hmm.
think I agree with you wholeheartedly about bringing more attention to the women who are in the blues.
Hmm.
Because even when I did some research, I'm like, I tend to always listen to the, like you said, Coco Taylor, some of the people who've been, before, and we
Hmm.
got a whole bunch of blues singers, women or musicians who are
Right.
young and right here and doing stuff, and we need to, know who they are. So
That's
I'm gonna
right.
work on that. I'm gonna work on that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I'm like, if somebody asked me, I would be like, I don't know. And that's where it helps too, to go out to the shows. When
Right.
we have a few places here in town, and
Hmm.
back in the day, there used to be blues clubs all over our neighborhoods,
Hmm.
and so we got to do our part to get that, to
Yes.
reclaim it. I think we got
That's
to
right.
reclaim it,
That's
because
right.
people are saying, you know, what's really happening to the state of the blues.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm like, well, you know what? I want to ask the artists, because when I go
Yeah.
out to some of the clubs, it's just as you said. And there's a thing about playing the authentic blues. And
Hmm.
I know I didn't really ask you about that, where people are trying to change the face of it, the face, and kind of like the, I don't know, maybe the arrangements or something. I'm not you're a
Yeah.
music person, so
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're
And
talking
so
about.
we
Uh-huh.
need to be able to hear it, and our, like, as passing it on, the legacy of it.
Right.
Our kids and their kids need to know this is what it is, and this is how it
Mhm.
started, and this is how it should sound.
Right.
But it's almost like if you change it, it's almost like you really are taking away a lot of
You're
our history,
taking it
because
away.
yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why when I'm booking things, I'll be like, okay, so do you want to hear the real blues
Oh, there
or
you
are you
go.
trying to hear the other blues? Let me know. Now I can do both, but let me know which one.
You go, girl.
You have, I mean, because you have to ask that question because people say blues, 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 but it might
Mm.
not be the blues. It could be blues rock. It could be southern soul. It could be any of
Ah,
these. So when I ask you, because I need to know what
mm.
crowd that you
There you go.
have, so
Who's your
you
audience?
need to let me know. Okay, are you trying
Mhm.
to hear this type of blues or this type of blues? Because either way, I got you, but I just need to know what it is you're trying to hear.
Oh my goodness.
Ah.
Okay,
Mhm.
everybody. This has been wonderful,
Yes,
and
it
I know I got
has.
you up early in the morning, and so I'm gonna
Oh,
let
I
you.
was already up.
I mean, uh, interrupting your morning. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
let you go, and everybody, please support the Duchess,
Yes,
Juressa
yes.
McBride, and I thank you
Mhm.
so much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Okay, and I'll make sure I'll tag Buddy Guys,
Yeah.
Legends, and see what. And then I know you're doing your part
Uh-huh.
to reach out.
Mhm.
That's right.
Trust me, my management,
I
she's
know.
on it.
I know that's
She's
right.
on it. 2024 is gonna be a great year.
All right, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Make it what you
Mm-hmm.
need it to be. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then.
All
All
right.
right, then.
Thank you.
All right, I appreciate you.
All right.
And okay, bye bye.
Bye.